Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. Today I will be using a fountain pen that I actually never really used before. I had it for pretty much the day it was released, but I did not got it for myself. I bought it originally for my better half, and even she used it only once as far as I remember. Or at least until the ink inside the cartridge that it came with was gone. And it's been sitting inside a shelf somewhere in a fountain pen collection ever since then. Or maybe not. I think I might have used it at least once as a comparison with one of the fountain pens that I have. I don't know if it was my personal fountain pen that I'm making or something else. However, what I did not check on it was that basically the pen was still unwashed. So I think at that time I put it back into the pile of the fountain pens that I need to wash and I forgot about it again. So recently, as I was cleaning fountain pens, found it again, finally cleaned it and decided to bring it back to life at least one more time. Now this fountain pen tends to polarize a lot of people. It seems that you either love it or hate it. Very few, as far as I have seen, are on the meh, I guess it's okay side of things. Myself, I kinda am one of the people in between those two extremes. And that is maybe because of the way I am seeing this fountain pen in my head. For me, the name Cocoon makes the more sense for this fountain pen, more than the Metropolitan. I actually am confused by that name. I don't see anything about it being Metropolitan, right? I do see it more as a cocoon. Because the section or the inner workings of this fountain pen are in essence a Pilot 78G fountain pen. And the cap and the barrel are just, well, a cocoon for it. Probably the reason why that big step up between the section and the barrel exists. It was just a skin design to fit the inner workings of the 78G rather than a new complete different design. So as a cool idea, if you want to create some new unique designs with your cocoon, start getting 78G fountain pens in different colors and start mix and matching the parts to your heart's content. The bad part about making a design like this though is that now you have a section with plastic threads and a barrel with metal threads that it's not ideal. I haven't seen actual issues so far, but then again, still not ideal in a perfect world. However, overall it's a pretty well built and good quality fountain pen as you would expect from a Japanese company. Just quirky in its own way. It has an okay functional clip and a not so ideal filling converter, at least not the one that I received. Speaking of converter, you are probably better off using a Con 40 on it, or if you hate the Con 40 as well, which let's put it that way, a lot of people do hate it too, then just use cartridges and call it a day. Overall, the fountain pen could have been better, but in the end is meh. It's okay, I guess. It definitely has its own cult followers though, so that's something to consider. For today I will be using an ink from Diamine, Imperial Purple. I don't think I have used this ink yet. The bottle pretty much looks full as I was looking at it. And since, well, the fountain pen already came with its own converter, even though it's not ideal, I decided that I might as well use it, but instead of just using the normal way by putting the pen in the bottle, I decided to just remove the converter and fill it up with a syringe to make sure I will get the most out of it. Good part about it, I won't have to clean the fountain pen since I do not have to dunk it in the ink bottle. Filling process was pretty straightforward, no real issues. The process is slightly more involved when filling it with a syringe, but with this kind of converters you do get a lot more ink into them doing it this way, since you basically manually fill it up rather than rely on the sucking power that they have. The important part is to make sure to push ink through the feed until some drops come out of it and then refill the converter. And once I was done with the filling part, the fountain pen started writing right away. Again, no issues. Like I said, this is the first time holding the fountain pen for real and actually writing with it. So for me the process was slightly shaky. I wasn't exactly sure how to hold it, and at the same time I was scared of that step up. But as soon as I realized there's no actual discomfort with that step up, I really relaxed and didn't really had any issues with it. And I doubt I will have any issues during the drawing either. One thing that I did notice is that when you post the pen, it definitely feels a little bit more top heavy. I think a metal section would have worked or fixed the issue, probably, or at least made it a little bit more livable. The nib in itself is beautiful on both sides, and I think it will perform excellent during the scribble time. I don't foresee any issues. One thing I am worried about is my choice of ink. I don't know why I'm going to be able to layer it too much. It's a beautiful color and works well, no complaints from that regard, but it seems to be pretty opaque. So, I mean, I will try and make it work somehow, but I will probably try and rely more on hatching style rather than filling in with color. We shall see, I guess. So in the end, this one in particular is a pretty decent writer. Now let's see what it can do if we use it for drawing some lines for a longer period of time, and if it's still going to be comfortable to use. Alright, scribble time. For today I did have an idea on what I wanted to try or to do. Well, at least roughly I had an idea. Idea was very simple in my head, like most of the ideas that I have, something in flight or gliding. So basically I guess some sort of a bird in flight. No particular one, or I guess realistic one, I just wanted to draw something flying. So as long as it had wings that were spanning across the entire page, I was going to be happy with it. At least in my mind I was. The problem, as it turned out, it was the shaping and shading of it. Not particularly good at drawing realistic things out of my head, so don't be bothered if by any chance doesn't look like any bird you might know. And shading, well, as I have already said in the writing portion, this ink is beautiful but seems to be more opaque than what I usually like, so building values, it's a little bit on the limited side, at least from my perspective. So what I ended up doing, it's, well, first mumble a little bit on the page with the nib on reverse and trying to find my shape of the bird on it, and then proceeded to literally chisel that shape in a more angular form. So basically I kind of end up with something that it's a little bit more abstract than people might like. And then after I did that, I just started to use all kind of hashes in different directions, and most of the time added on the page with no real sense of direction. And once that is done, and I had most of the drawing covered in some kind of hashes, I started to try and save it a little bit more by adding more purposed hashes and shading in certain parts of the drawing. The other odd thing that I did, and I don't know why I did it, was to add additional strikes that continued some of the angles of the bird. I kind of like it. It kind of gave me a weird perspective vibe to it, and in my head it seems to add to the dimension of the bird in some sort of an odd 3D grid. I don't know how I feel about them truly, but at the same time I kind of like it. I don't know, what do you think? So in the end, right now, even, well, at the end, after I'm done with the drawing, I am still not 100% sure how to feel about my scribble today. I don't know if I'll put it in the win bucket. It's more like an meh, it's okay, I guess bucket. I'll leave it for a few days and come back to it to see what I think then. Maybe my feeling about it will change. Or maybe I'll just probably hate it like the most of the things that I put on the page. So in the end, a pretty simple scribble that took most of my time in trying to untangle the mess that I had it on the page originally. Now, putting the drawing aside for a second and focusing on the instrument that I used, I have to say that I really have no negative things to say about the Cocoon fountain pen. I thought I might have disliked it because of the section and barrel design, but my hand naturally went around it, and fortunately the section is long enough for me to have 2 fingers on it and then my thumb kind of sitting at the edge of the barrel. And I find that okay for my type of grip. Obviously that won't work for everyone because not everybody is me or having the same hand size or grip position, but in my honest opinion I think that at least the fountain pen it's worth considering and at least try it before dismissing it. Will I use it again? I don't know, maybe. I really don't know. In my mind, again, I'm stuck with a 78G, and if I would have to pick that type of nib and section, to me it will feel much more natural to use the 78G than this one. But if it would be handy and somewhere on the table, I would probably grab it. I don't think I would have an issue with that. As for the ink, I like the ink. I like the color it has, but I don't know if I like it as much for drawing. At least not for the drawing that I did today. I'm gonna give it another chance, so I will probably try it again sometime in the near future with a different type of scribble before deciding if I will keep it for writing only. One thing that I like about it is that it's drying pretty quick, so chances of smudging it are reduced a lot. And yeah, I think with this I'm kind of at the end of my ramblings. Not much else I can say about anything that I've been showing off today. In the end, a great little fountain pen from Pilot, polarizing at that, I admit, with a great ink from Diamine that in the end, both of them combined give me a scribble that I do not know how to feel about it. Basically, I guess a polarizing fountain pen gave me a polarizing scribble. What can I say? Today I have been polarized. And yeah, okay, I think I'm out in the fields with my comments now. So before I plow my entire brain, I think I will just be ending it here. Thank you for joining me again. And as usual, I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the time lapse. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.